Welcome back everybody, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. Last time we picked up a new NPC named Grieving Mother. She is a Cipher, which is a pretty cool class. Not entirely sure what it does yet. It seems they have Focus, which they use to power their spells. Courts are sort of like a sorcerer type class. I'm going to start at the beginning of this town because we kind of just ran through to get Grieving Mother and now we're here. So let's talk to the Cowled people, or Medreth I guess is the only named one here, so let's talk to Medreth. An elf idles by the road watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach and the cowled figure standing next to him falls silent. Greetings, a look of horror slowly forms on his face, blazes. You just come from the village, haven't you? Or have you? How bad was it? Quit babbling and tell us what this is about. Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose, said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollowborn. He nods at figures with him. We've come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here? He nods across the river. She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her, ourselves. But the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we'd like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. He leans closer. Her name's Nifra. She's an orphan. We want to get her out of town so we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her that it's safe to leave, I could draw her out. He nods. She won't know you. It'll be simple. I have some questions. What did Nifra do exactly? She was responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay, remember? Terrible thing, but we'll make her pay alright. Well, any luck with Nifra? Nope, not yet. I'll get back to the search. First up though, we're gonna go to this place. What is this place? I don't actually know. Looks like a temple. Probably can't rob it. He'll be wanting Biadmar. He's out of town. I'm just keeping the candles lit till he gets back. Well, you are completely useless. No side quests or anything from the... No, go find Biadmar because he's missing.
I shall be discreet.
I'm slightly disappointed in that turn of events. But oh well, let's go explore. There are... These guys, all these yellow bordered people, are more backers. I'm not going to interact with them. They do have some sort of like personally written backstories. Some of them are pretty legit. Some of them not so much. But there's a lot of them in the game, so I'm not going to bother reading them all out. It's a big place. Relatively big town. Dyrford Mill is next on our list. Is everyone deaf in this blazing village? Stop. Alright, what do you want? House Herond Guard. The guard gives you an appraising eye. You've recently come to Deerford, I take it. I don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. Who is she? Lady Elise. He bites his lip. She's the daughter of Lord Nestor Herond, and she's gone missing. Perhaps if you could speak with Lord Herond at the inn, he'd be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the villagers will open up to you more than they have to us. Maybe? I'll work on that after I go to the mill. I'm sure the inn is like the biggest building in town probably, so we'll know it when we see it. Hello random villagers. Now would you be mad if I took your stuff? Nope. Alright. Next up then. Oh, I lost reputation. I guess stealing that one wasn't so good. The first one we didn't lose any reputation for, but the second one we did. Therefore, we will leave that one alone. We don't want to lose rep.
You must
Gather my party before venturing forth. I know. I know Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 1. Always have to gather our party before venturing forth. Rumbled! Your name is Rumbled. With some piglets. A man paces angrily in front of this wretched animal pen. His sun-weathered face twisted with ire. He's so wrapped up in his fury he doesn't seem to notice you. Galloway's slobbering beast, blazing bloody effigy, thrice damned salty wench and her soggy... Watch where you're going, you raging fool. He spins to face you, cheeks puffed up and red, while he takes a deep breath and lets it out slowly. Not your fault. I'm sorry. Temper is getting the better of me. But with all a few of my runs gone, my pen's destroyed. The color rises in his face again. What am I supposed to do? What are you talking about? An ogre moved into the area not long ago. Folk had been seeing glimpses and tracks out in the wood, but it seemed to be staying away from town, or so we all thought, until it made off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid to go. It's going to develop a taste for kith if it hasn't already. What do you mean to do now? I know it's too late to get my pigs back, but I'd set my mind at ease to see that thing's head shorn from its neck. In fact, if you bring back its ugly pate, I'll trade you for something that's of less value to a farmer like me than to a rowdy-looking sort like yourself. What do you know about the ogre? It's the same as any other, I'm sure. Big, ugly son of a bitch with a nasty temper and an appetite to match. Trigel could tell you more. He claims to have seen it in the wood. You can find him in his shop right by the broken tower. I've been sent to find an Orlin named Nifra. Know where she is? Never even heard of her. Well, that's not super helpful. Is there anything else around here to loot? Hey, there's some flowers. Maybe we should try our hand at enchanting at some point, but I'm going to wait till I have the blacksmith to do that, I think. Or, yeah, the smith at our base. There's another house heron guard. If I were to loot this barrel, would anyone get mad at me? Yes. Yes, we would, so let's not loot that. Damn you and your morals, stupid town. Alright.
Of course.
Let's go search around. What's in this building? Nothing. So then what's this? Winfrith's Arms and Armory. That sounds like exactly the place we want to go. We need some sweet, sweet loot, and he's the one to give it to us. What are you? You're another yellow border guy. So, a portly, smiling man stands behind a warped wooden counter, polishing a buckler. He looks up. Haven't seen you before. Always glad to see a new face in town. Company's good for business, and chatter's good for the soul. That's what I always say. Anyhow, what can I do for you? What's been going on in Deerford? Oh, we're a quiet little town. Not much happens here, especially not since the legacy hit. People realize they couldn't have babies and just stopped trying altogether. And that takes a lot of excitement out into the day-to-day, if you can believe it. I can believe that. What is that? That looks pretty fantastic. This property is Annihilation. What does that do? Oh, plus 0.5 to crit damage multiplier. Crits can inflict prone and plus 12 accuracy. Damn. But I want a one-headed sword for my main character. Ideally, anyways. We're also going to sell a bunch of stuff because we have a bunch of stuff. What is mosquito? Some sort of rapier that's pretty good. Angio's Gambesson. Damage reduction, athletics, reflex, cool. Boots of Zealous Command. Oh, I see. It's good for paladins. Voice of the Mountaintop, chant aura effect. Don't I already have a rope and grappling hook? Somewhere? Maybe not, I don't know. Might have gone missing. Man, if I was a two-handed sword wielder though, that would be the sword of my choice. That thing would be amazing to smack things around with. What's tall grass? Two-handed pike. It's actually really nice as well. Plus 8 accuracy, 1.3 times damage. It's got a good reach. But we're going to sell some junk because we have tons of it. We should sell this actually in a town that we have better reputation in because we'll make more money off of it. So maybe we are done
Hail
here.
and well met.
Maybe not though. Let's see. Nothing really I want actually.
Well,
There are some things I'm sort of interested in, but I really want to upgrade my keep more than I want to buy items at the moment. So we'll deal with that in a little bit. Perhaps we'll have lots of money later on. What's in this house? Another yellow. Hey, he's on his own. I wonder if we kill him. If we can steal all this stuff.
bring
Did I lose any rep? Nope. He had a cool helmet. And mostly I just wanted his stuff. Let's try that again. We should have checked for traps first.
I'll take care of it.
Let's get everybody in here this time. It'll kill him faster.
So much for you.
Oh, that was funny.
White.
What do you suppose that bally thing is?
I think it's a trap. And that's how you murder people in cold blood. We didn't lose any rep. Nothing happened for it. We're kind of aggressive and cruel, so that sounds not out of character for us. Potions, we don't need potions, so we're gonna...
You have said
That's
you fought in the Saints' War,
fragrant.
but for which side?
Actually, wait. A young woman leans against a wagon. One arm and one side of her face are covered in bandages with raw, rippled flesh showing underneath. A minty, tangy scent wafts from her dressing. She smiles painfully. Just ventured into town. I'm about to dry on some of my stocks, but you're welcome to have a look. I'm about dry on some of my stocks. Why are your stocks limited? It's the damn roads. Can't reach none of my supplies, so I'm stuck with whatever I can scrounge up in the wood. Deercap, river reed, and the like. That's well and good, but most potions require something stronger too. Troll skin, vessel bone, what have you. And then there's the really rare ingredients, things you'd never be able to afford, let alone find on your own. What did you find? Hendia winces as the rest of her story comes tumbling out of her. I've been keeping an eye on the drake's nest east of town at Deerford's crossing. The beast stayed just long enough to lay the clutch and move on. Thank the Sky Mother it wasn't a full-grown dragon. She looks at her bandaged arm and grimaces. Fresh eggs are much more useful than the ones that get passed between merchants or left in nests for weeks or more. And that clutch looked to be at its peak, though I'd see about getting an egg. Sorry, thought I'd see about getting an egg, but I didn't realize so many of them had already hatched, or that the young worms were so territorial. I could get an egg for you. She keeps her gaze steady, but you see hope kindling in her eyes and twitching at the corners of her mouth. I sure hope you're not leading me on. I don't think I could stand getting burned again. She bites her lip. If you really mean to go after it, I'd certainly pay you. Just remember, big as they are, dragon eggs are fragile, and there's a lot more I can do with a whole one. Anything else I can do for you? I've got some handy ointments if you're braving the roads anytime soon. How did you get burned? By the flame, how does it look? Bad? Terrible? I know it. Well, I'm surprised you go out in public like that. She looks up sharply. Don't have much of a choice, do I? No one's gonna run the shop for me. She sighs. I already told you about my run-in with the worms. I reckon you put the rest together already. I'm looking for an Orland named Nifra. I did see an Orland lady headed into the Dracogen just the other day. She points across the road at a large building. Don't know what her name was, but she was acting real sneaky like. What do you have for goods? We could buy... Oh, we can buy gems from her too. Yeah, interesting. Cool. I'll keep that in mind.
My guy.
I didn't mean anything by it. I imagine a man with a head made of fire and light would be very convincing.
Funny thing about Deerwoodans. For all that fire and light, they just treated him
Like another authority figure. I'm gonna finish his sentence for him because I didn't let him finish. Who are you? Triggle and... An unnamed person. Oh. Sabhan. Alright, Triggle. Sit in my private quarters. That goes for you and Heron's bootlickers. What?
Good day to you.
A sturdy, broad-shouldered man wipes his hands on his slacks. He reeks of the same foul compound wafting from the vats, and his arms are stained with dye. You looking to purchase some leather? Rumbold mentioned something about an ogre. He's hardly talked about anything else since those pigs of his went missing. The whole town's been worried about that monster. People are starting to see shapes in their windows at night, hearing its growl and the snoring of their mates. It would put a lot of minds at ease if someone got rid of it. He scrapes at red pigment under his fingernails. I sometimes venture into the wilderness, collecting the ingredients for my dyes, mind you. I've seen tracks east of here, near the river. That couldn't have been anything else. He wipes a splotch of dye from his elbow with his shirt tail. Something else you need? What's in the collapsed tower? It's collapsed. Nothing. He rolls his eyes and shrugs. A few hides on stretching racks and the towel stench. Dangler's always grumbling about. The rest of the keep's dust, just like the fool lady Thanu who tried to hold it. There's a bard at the inn who will tell you the whole blazing story if you want to hear it. Have you seen Nifra and Orland from Defiance Vale? I make it a point to keep out of other people's business. Fine, we'll take a look at your junk. It's a girdle of mortal protection. Oh, decreased crit damage. An exceptional dagger. We don't have any exceptional goods yet. That sounds pretty awesome. Which reminds me, can we upgrade it? I just want to see if we can do something. Can we actually enchant this further? It is fine, but can we make it exceptional? We can. We just need Vithrak Brain and a ruby. If we make it superb, it's even better, but we need sapphire and a sky dragon eye. It's a lot of stuff. Oh, I see. You can only have one of each kind. Okay. So we can get burning latch and or burning lash and stuff like that. Draining doesn't seem to be something we can enchant on it. Can we enchant it on normal items? So if we give it quality, it's already fine, but if we made it exceptional, it's fine, but we can't. I don't see draining. So draining must be special in that we can't just put it on things. Interesting. Alright, cool. That is good to know. Let's go to the inn where apparently this woman is. And we'll also find that lord we were supposed to talk to about his daughter or whatever. Villagers. There's Sid. Who's Sid?
I just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
A redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. First time at the Drakagen? Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out the tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you about it all the same. Sure, let's have it. Oh, excellent. These rustic fables are always great fun. Let me get us something to write with. It was built in the time of Hadrith's rebellion. An Adiran lady, Thanu, once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadrith's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruins, built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thanu's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place whilst the locals built their new town. Go on. The Deerwoodens are an ornery lot. And the more these neighbors met, the more they argued. They realized they didn't agree on much beside ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glenfathans and their nearby ruins. Hadrith's knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more I can't speak today. Anarchic? Yeah, I guess so. Leanings that had formed in the town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after their lord. Soon the villages were fighting with each other as much as with the Adirans. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the Guided Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glenfathan tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes a good story. She points to the east wall. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. We already know about the War of Black Trees and the Broken Stone War, so we're gonna let her be. We've already read books about it. Another yellow name person.
Leave and check the wilds.
Hey, Lord Heron. The man wears a deer-style robe, simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes look like they were made for padding around indoors, yet they're caked with mud. He yanks a lock of hair twined around his silk-gloved finger. His fine features are etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
I don't think they care.
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
The beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
Your child is missing, I take it.
Yes, Lady Alice. My daughter.
He tugs at the fingertips of his gloves.
I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
I don't. My lord, a mercenary? Heron raises his hands to silence the men. If you find her, he nibbles at the thumb of one silk glove. Tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back and all will be well. I just want to make sure my Alice, my child, is safe. Nothing else in the world is more important to me. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your daughter.
Elise. Of course.
Describe Lady Elise. She's a striking young woman, bears more resemblance to her mother than to me. She has auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be, 28 or 29 now. Tell me about her disappearance. We'd stopped in Deerford for a few days. On our 4th evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Elise was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple hours later, I found she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, and no one at the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and the locals have been no help. Why did you and Elise come to Deerford? It was merely a stop on our way to Ina's arrest. However, she took ill shortly before our arrival, so it seemed prudent to allow her a few days to recover. What's an Ina's rest? He frowns as if about to protest, but gives in with a sigh. Lady Elise has reached an age where it is prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I can't let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many Hollowborn. It seems there would be more potential suitors in New Hamar, or New Yarma. You think I haven't considered that? Arranging a suitable match is difficult. The best prospects for my child lay in Ina's arrest. Where's the rest of your family? Surely they wouldn't want to miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Herond is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately, Elise has few other close relatives. My sister and her husband, Elise's aunt and uncle, of course, have been visiting Adir for the past months. As for siblings, Elise has none. My wife has only given birth to Hollowborn since Elise, that is. I see, but getting back to your daughter, let's go back to my previous questions. I heard you arguing with the innkeeper.
A petty, small-minded man, just like the rest of them around here. I've been paying him an honest fee for board and bed, and yet he can't be bothered to stir himself to concern for my Elise.
Actually, he seemed angry at you.
People from these backwater villages take offense for sport. You have to but show up with a full coin purse, and they'll hear insult in the jingle of your step. They forget that Duke Hadred came from the privileged classes, as did all of the other earls and lords who financed the rebellion they're so proud of.
This is why I'm hoping you can help. He tugs at a lock of hair again. I should never have trusted these people around my child. Tell me about
I'm
yourself.
Lord Nestor Harrond of Defiance Bay. My family has been prominent there since Imperial times. Our primary estate is on the outskirts of Brackenbury, but we have holdings in New Hamar as well. Those went to my sister and her husband.
Alright then. So let's go talk to people. Try and figure this out. Dangler, talk to me here.
Good day, stranger.
Tell me about... the innkeeper digs inside a mug with a dirty rag. His eyes under his thick brows are tired but watchful. He gives you a quick nod as you approach the bar. Don't see too many travelers these days. Something I can do for you. What was your exchange with that nobleman about? He looks up from polishing his tankard and glowers at the lord. Folk around here is decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in? Go talk to him yourself. Tell me about Lord Heron's daughter. He frowns and shrugs. The lordship says she's up and went missing the other day. He wipes the tankard with his ragged towel, twisting it with swift, jerking motions. I don't know any more than that. However, these lordling bastards handle their affairs. Ain't no business of mine. You look agitated. Something about this doesn't sit right with you, does it? He slams the clean tankard down on the bar. Damn right it don't. That Lord Saunders isn't here like he's cut from cleaner cloth than the rest of us, and yet... He shakes his head. Look, I don't want no trouble from you or him or anybody else. I'm just waiting for him to tire of my ale and leave, so things can get back to normal around here. So much for your talk of decency. If you know something but say nothing, you're just as guilty. He leans on the bar and sighs. That girl Elise, she was looking to disappear. You should have seen her, watching the door like a sheep at slaughter. All the same, she didn't hardly speak to no one. Only folk I've seen her talk to is Triggle. He nods at the east window. His shop's up by the broken tower. Bit of a hothead, that one. My advice is to let the matter drop. Like I say, I don't profit to dig around in other people's business. I understand. Thanks, buddy. You are very helpful. Who is a Pace? Let's talk to Pace. What are you doing in the kitchen? Dangler will get you sorted out with food and drink. Guess I can't steal your wine. That sucks. No one else to talk to just yet. Upstairs we go. We should start busting walls down to try and find that quarterstaff, the mage's quarterstaff that got lost in here. Maybe it is hidden in here somewhere. This looks sketchy. Let's go take a look inside. Hi. Nifra, the Orlan hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She cranes her head to peer behind you. Anyone followed you? Who sent you? Just looking around. The man leaning against the wall glances out the door and nods to the Orlin. The hand over her weapon relaxes, but she's watching you closely. Some old friends from Defiance Bay are looking for me. We're not exactly friends anymore, if you catch my drift. I'm just trying to lie low and mind my own business, know what I mean? Boss? And Amawa looks at the Orlin and jerks his head back at you. Alright. She raises her hand to the Amawa before turning back to you. My friend here thinks you could maybe help us out. Now I'm sure you're a busy man, so I'll make it worth your time. She flips you a few coins. Just go take a look around town. Come back and let me know if the coast is clear or if you see any suspicious figures. Someone told me you were responsible for heinous killings in Defiance Bay. Let me guess, was that someone named Medrith? She draws her stiletto. It's a lie, plain and simple. I got on the wrong side of his employers and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't make it easy on you. Relax. I just want to hear your side of the story. What story? The Doman elves came after me. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they already claimed it? She runs her hands under her hood through her hair. It was an honest mistake. I'm just trying to survive now. And if you spoke with Medrith, you know where he's waiting. Please, help me get out of here. Who am I going to side with? This is tough. Because I think she might be telling the truth. She doesn't really seem like a murderer. Well, she does seem like a murderer, but she doesn't seem like a heinous murderer. I guess she's like a mercenary and a thief. But we're aggressive and cruel, so it's under attack. Alright.
Yes.
Now, oh, we have no real
Yes,
spells left.
what?
That's interesting. Let's get some protection going.
Aye?
And we will get... Oh, and now web's kind of worthless at that point. Chilling fog might be good, though. And you're brand new. I want to see what these mind sights or mind blades do that I've heard so much about. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. That is a pretty fantastic spell. Do it again. That is pretty intense. Alright, let's see if we're dead yet. No, she is.
That's not very helpful.
Get out of the way, mutt. Actually, I feel really bad for killing the dog. Why can't I kill it? Oh,
My mind feels sharp as steel.
Take care of it.
I see, it just was laying on the ground. That was impressive. Oh my god, some more. Oh, a good saber finally. Good, you can take that saber. And a grimoire. I like grimoire. Oops. I like grimoires. You can have the grimoire. And we got some Night Runner. Medium armor. Stealthy, fine, disengagement, defense bonus. That sounds like DPS gear. Who am I going to give it to? Not sure yet. Probably to my main character? No. No, he's got fine brigandine. What are you wearing? You're also wearing fine brigandine. What are you wearing? Okay, 3 people in my group don't have 5 brigandine, so I'm just gonna give it to you and we'll figure it out later. Fine scale armor, not particularly great. Fine leather armor. Actually, you know who I'm gonna give it to? I'm gonna give it to him. We'll do it later. The rest of this, fine Morningstar, fine rod, fine dagger, fine stiletto, fine sword. Just normal stuff. All goes to the stash. Alright, so we have Night Runner armor now. What are you using for armor? Just straight up brigandine. And you're also a ranged person, so I do kind of want you to wear... Wow, that is hideous armor. Oh well. Some fine mail armor, you say? Oh, throw it in there. We'll deal with it later.
I'll see what I can find.
Any traps? A diary. Or, not diary, but a story for us to read in a minute. Actually, we're at half an hour, so I'm going to end the video here. Like always, if you guys have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time.